everyone. I'm Laura with Kansas City Mom Collective, and today I am honored to share the story of an incredible woman who has faced metastatic breast cancer with strength and resilience. Sheila was diagnosed in 2017 and has since become a powerful advocate, mentor, and voice for others facing this disease. Her journey is not just one of treatment, but of finding purpose, building community, and offering hope when it's needed most. As we recognize Metastatic Breast Cancer Day on October 13th, we hope Sheila's story inspires greater awareness and connection. Thank you so much for being here, Sheila, and telling your story with us.
That was quite an introduction. I feel very honored to be here, I guess, would say. Mm,
Can you briefly introduce yourself and tell us how your journey started?
Sure. I am Sheila Richmeier. Right now, I guess I'm 63, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer in January of 2017. I would have been 56, I believe. My life was going really quickly at that point in time. I had lots of things going on. Um, so it was quite the shock when I had to stop and think about things differently.
Okay. And take us back to the moment in January 2017 when you first found that lump. What was going through your mind at the time?
Well, it was really funny because we were watching TV and me and my husband were sitting there and I said, oh, and I just stretched my arms and I said, oh my gosh, what is this? And I said, I think I have a lump. So I called my doctor the next day and I said, I think I have a lump. I need to come see you. And so she did she looked at it, felt it. She said, we need to get you a diagnostic mammogram. And, I've been keeping up on my mammograms. And so I was very religious about that. And so I thought, well, this is really odd. So I went over to the center for diagnostic center and did the mammogram. There was nothing there. And so he said, I can feel that lump. So we're going to do a sonography. So I went and did the sono, and there it was. So,
And so they found the lump on the sonogram,
right,
which is
right.
sometimes the case with like dense breasts, is what I've been hearing.
Yes. And that's what I found out is that not all, in fact, quite a few breast lumps aren't found on sonography. So mine was big enough that I could feel it was like 1.25 centimeters. So actually it was two something centimeters. So that's almost an inch. So mine showed up and it was big enough for me to feel, but yeah, sonography. And now they've got the 3D and I think that helps a little bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, at that point, there was no way to find dense breast.
Okay. And then Sheila has also written her story in a blog post, so I know a little bit of background.
Yes.
And so things escalated a little quickly. So it went from diagnosis of breast cancer to it was metastatic breast cancer, correct?
Right.
What was
Right.
it like to hear those words?
I went in for a simple chemo instruction. And
Okay.
so I went in and my background is nursing. So it was like, okay, I'll go in and I'll just listen to what they have to say because I know a lot about chemo and I've actually managed a an oncology unit. So I went in and she went through all this stuff and she says, well, wait a minute, one thing, I got to go check the MRI. And so because this doctor did MRIs on all of her breast cancer patients, especially if they had HER2 positive. So she came back into the room and she says, I just talked to your doctor because it was the nurse practitioner during the education. I've just talked to your doctor and it's metastatic. And I'm telling you, that is rough. Thinking that I'm going to go in, get the treatment, get everything done. And she tells me, wait a minute, we got to do something different. So they immediately sent me over for scans. So I did CT scans, bone scans, and we went out to the parking lot. I can remember me and my husband went out to the parking lot and we were just crying. I mean, it was just like, wow, that's not what we wanted to hear.
Hmm.
So that was a really tough moment.
Okay. And you talked a little bit about your treatment in the blog post. So, is there, how long did that last and how long were you on that journey?
I started Well, the regimen then at that point is she pulled one of the chemotherapy drugs because she said, we'll use this in the future. So we had chemotherapy, and then I did targeted therapy, which is the drug goes directly to the cell. So I did that for 8 months, and she said, we're going to push as long as we can because we want to get rid of that tumor. So because I had a tumor in my breast, and then I had a little bit in my lymph nodes, and then it was all the way down my back, we did sonos again, and then we did bone scans on a regular basis. And so um, we did treatment for 8 months, and then I went back in for all of that. And then we decided together that I would take that out because you know what? You have cancer. I want that out of my body.
Sure.
So I went for the sono, and they couldn't find it. So I said to my surgeon, let's take it out anyway. Let's go in and get it. Whatever's there, take it out. So they took it out, and there was nothing there, which was really fascinating.
Oh,
So then over the course of, let's see, I just continued the targeted therapy because I did have metastatic disease. So I continued the targeted therapy, and everything was going really well. And we were at the farm. We have a farm out in western Kansas, and I got the results of my MRI. Never thought that I would have brain mets. Well, actually, I did kind of think would have brain mets because a lot of HER2 positive patients have brain mets. So I got that call about the brain mets. You have brain mets. And that was a whole nother journey. Because I know from my background that when you have brain mets, um, that's not a very positive outcome.
okay.
So what I thought might happen happened. And so we were, wow, that was worse than the first day.
Sure.
So,
So then you started treatment for the brain
right.
cancer.
Right. So there are several drugs that you can take that cross over the blood-brain barrier. In other words, the medicine can go into the brain. So she started me on a different med, which had chemo in it. And so I was on that med for 6 months and had two occurrences, and then the third occurrence where they did a craniotomy. So I've had three occurrences of brain mets.
And the prognosis wasn't very good at the time, but
Right.
you're still here with us. So tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about how does it feel to be in this phase of the journey?
When I was first diagnosed, doctors typically don't tell you, you've got 5 years to live. But I was, because I did lots of research, I had done lots of research and said to my doctor, what do you think the prognosis is? And she said, when we first started, she says it's probably 3 to 4 years because it's really fast growing and you have it throughout your body. And so then when I got brain meds, I said, I don't really want to know, but I want you to tell me not the prognosis, but what's the number say for people who have brain meds? And she said 1 to 2 years. And so we were really shocked. And that was kind of hard to swallow because I had grandchildren and I kind of wanted to watch them grow up.
Absolutely.
So, you know, um, I'm here today because there are lots of great medicines. I had some really great doctors, and I had um, some medicines that they didn't have before. And so the research that has been done in breast cancer has been phenomenal. So where I would have had in 2017, if I would have been diagnosed in 2010, I wouldn't be here today.
Mhm.
So because of the research and the what's happened with research and how many different meds there are now, if I get brain mets again, there's two or three other medicines that I can take.
Okay.
It's pretty phenomenal, isn't it?
Right. Lots of options for us.
Yeah, there is. It is.
So within your treatment journey, you found a group called Metaviver, and now you have become a peer mentor with that. Can you tell us a little bit about that group and what that means to you?
Yeah, when you're diagnosed with breast cancer, there's lots of resources. There's lots of groups, there's lots of resources. When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, you don't fit into those groups because your cancer is never going to go away. You're going to live with your cancer forever. Um, and so that was a real struggle for me. And so my physician handed me a pamphlet to say, hey, I know this organization and you might reach out. So Metaviber is a group that is peer, they work with other metastatic patients, so they help metastatic patients only, for support, for advocacy, and actually for research. So I thought, you know what? I've been through a lot. Let me be a peer-to-peer counselor. So they trained me on becoming a peer-to-peer counselor. And so then I thought, I want to meet other people in groups. And I didn't want to be online because if you go online, sometimes you just hear about all the bad things. And I just wanted to meet people and talk to people. So I started a group and called, well, I had a nurse navigator who really believed in, hey, we need to get people to meet together. So we sat down and she gave me a couple people that we could talk to. And so we started our first group. We had 3 or 4 people in our first group, and it was just fantastic to go and sit in a room with the same kind of people, the people that have the same thing that I have. It was fantastic.
And so you really like build that connection and can give each other support because really you're the only
Right.
ones who know what each other's going through.
Right. And it's as simple as my mouth is really dry. I don't know what to do with my mouth being so
Sure.
dry. And someone had already been through that. And she said, oh, this mouthwash works really good for that. And it did. And so it was just really simple things. Or it was, have you told your grandkids? How are you going to handle your grandkids? And what are you doing this weekend? So yeah, it's been a fantastic group to help me.
And Metastatic Breast Cancer Day is coming up, October 13th.
Correct.
Why is that so important for the community? And tell us a little more about the event that's going to be at Menorah Medical Center.
Well, partly, well, think about the pink that goes around all over the place. Pink is the big breast cancer. Gosh, everybody has breast cancer. They have breast cancer. They get well. They're better. They survive. And so that's really tough for us people that don't get breast cancer, get treatment, and go on with their lives.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And basically, this one day in October, October 13th, they have devoted to metastatic breast cancer so that we can celebrate too. And we don't really think of ourselves as survivors as much as thrivers. We have thrived through this disease. And so we call ourselves Kansas City Meta Thrivers.
Okay.
So it's a great day that we're Menorah has been fantastic in giving us a space. We're going to have a reception and a couple tables with all kinds of breast cancer awareness information, the lights, the pink, I don't know what it is, a curly, whatever it is. The pink symbol, it becomes teal, green, and pink
Oh,
because
okay.
of the support and so forth. So we're going to have all kinds of lights, food, beverages, and then you can donate to Metaviber and for specific metastatic research. The research that goes into cancer research and breast cancer research, almost all of it goes to that first initial diagnosis and treatment. Very little of it goes to metastatic disease, although there's a lot more metastatic patients now. And so this is specific for metastatic breast cancer patients, so we can have more research.
Okay. Sounds like a wonderful event.
We'd love for everybody to come.
Okay. So we'll end on one last note. For someone who maybe have just got the diagnosis of metastatic breast cancer, or even like their family members, what do you want
Right.
them to know? Let's end positively.
Yeah, breast cancer, I'm not going to talk of other cancers because I don't know as much, but breast cancer is no longer a death sentence. And so I used to say, it's a treatment. You go in, you get yourself treated, and then you're well. Even metastatic breast cancer, even if it spreads throughout your body, used to be a death sentence because you don't die from breast cancer, you die from the metastatic part of breast cancer. And it's no longer a death sentence. It becomes a chronic disease. And there are a lot of people, believe it or not, that live with metastatic breast cancer. So I think what I would want people to be aware of is it's great to celebrate breast cancer, but not all of us get rid of it. So be careful when you're celebrating breast cancer to think of us too.
Mhm. I love that.
And yeah, and you're going, I think a lot of people survive breast cancer. What I think the number I read the other day was 98% people,
Oh,
if you are diagnosed early,
mhm.
98% survive breast cancer, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that is good news.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Your journey really has moved me, and we hope the audience as well. We invite anyone to join them on October 13th for Metastatic
So,
Breast Cancer Day at Menorah Medical Center. It's a free
mhm,
drop-in event from 5:30 to 7, where you can connect with physician leaders and hear other stories like Sheila's
mhm,
from Medavivers. And
yes.
we really hope you celebrate that day on October 13th.
Thank you so much.
Yes, have a great day.